to make it really dramatic, if the world ended tomorrow, just ends, fade to black, nothing, everything's gone, who would care? Would it be a tragedy? To whom? Only to God. So we don't really need this. The Creator needs it.
So your message around serving God resonates deeply for me personally. I can imagine someone else listening to this and saying, what if I don't believe in God? What does it mean to serve God? Or why should I serve God if I don't believe in God?
Very good question. And I actually had this experience. I'm sitting and talking to a student who tells me that there is no God. He doesn't believe in anything. The whole thing is a myth. When he finishes, I said, it's very sad because God is actually depending on you to fix your little piece of the world. He says, really?
Mm-hmm.
He's interested.
Mm-hmm.
I tell him to believe in God, not interested. I tell him God is depending on you. Oh. Mm. So all of a sudden, forget the atheism. Mm. Because we're really not looking for a faith. Mm. Nobody cares. What do you believe? What's the difference? I do believe, I don't believe. How is that going to change anything? Mm-hmm. What people want to know desperately, consciously or subconsciously, is, where do I fit in? Why am I here? So you tell me there's a God. Fine. You didn't answer my question. Mm-hmm. And if you tell me, well, now that you believe in God, you know that you can rely on Him to save you from all your problems. Thank you very much. You say, this is what God needs from you. Everybody's like, wow, so that's why I'm here? Mm-hmm. For Him? Mm-hmm. What a relief. Mm-hmm. And actually, this is what the Rambam or other sages predicted will happen in the end of days. Not people will believe in God. People will want to know God's ways, which means, give me a path in life. Show me where I fit into this vast eternal plan. Mm-hmm. That's what we need to know. We raise children differently these days. From the earliest age, you tell them, God is depending on you. God needs your input. God is waiting to hear a bracha from you before you eat that cookie. Mm. So it's not you, which makes us crazy. Mm-hmm. You must do this. You need to do this. You have to become great. You have to. It's not true. And that's why it doesn't help. But if you say you were created for a reason, you're necessary in God's plan, where's the downside to that?
Right. So let me ask on that then. I can imagine having that conversation and saying, God needs you to do all these laws to our fellow human, to give charity, to listen to your parents, those kind of things. But, I think of Chabad, I think of people running around the road getting people to put tefillin on, to rep phylacteries, put on tzitzit, giving my son, God willing, one day a kippah on tzitzit. Why does God need us to do the mitzvahs, the laws that are only between us and God? How is that repairing the world or bringing us closer to everyone living forever? Yeah.
Some people ask the opposite question. Yeah. Laws between us and God, I understand, but why is He telling us that?
To other people?
Right.
Well, I assume, we could argue about morality versus Jewish law, but there's some sense of trying to improve and perfect the world over time and how you get there.
Okay, so I'll share with you the ultimate secret.
Yeah.
Why did God create the world in the first place? He's so perfect. He's so great. He's so... Mm-hmm. Everything was wonderful. There was just Him mm-hmm. and no problems. Mm-hmm. Then He creates a world and it's messy. Mm-hmm. So if you remember, God says to Adam, I'm creating a wife for you because it's not good to be alone. Mm-hmm. I've read this, I don't know how many times. Every year for sure, right? It never occurred to me to ask, Why did God say it? Just go ahead and do it.
Right. Why did God take the time to say that? And it's not to Adam, right? It's to the angels, I guess.
No, to Adam.
Oh, he says to Adam, it's not good for you to be alone? Okay.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. He said it as a policy.
Right. It's not
I'm going to create Chava because it's not good for man to be alone. Just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Almost like you're apologizing. You're just, what are you doing? Turns out that on a much, much deeper level, God finally had someone to talk to because Adam now existed. Mm-hmm. And God wanted to explain why he created the world. Mm-hmm. So he said, the reason I created the world is because it's not good to be alone. Mm-hmm. That's such an amazing, incredible statement. Mm-hmm. Yes, God is perfect. So what?
God still needs us, even though God's perfect.
What's good about being perfect?
Right.
Oh, God is so perfect. That's the problem, mm-hmm. not a compliment. Mm-hmm. You're perfect. It's sterile. Mm-hmm. So that's it. It's all over. Mm-hmm. God says, no, you don't respect me for being perfect. Mm-hmm. It's not good to be alone. Mm-hmm. So this in Hebrew, you would say, before God created the world, he was yochid ba'olamai. He was exclusive. His existence was exclusive. Mm-hmm. God said, no, I want to be echad. Interesting that first day of creation is not called Yom Rishon. Mm. It's called Yom Echad. Mm. God created the world in order to have total unity through inclusion, not exclusion. Mm. Being alone is just wrong. Mm. Why? I don't know. It's a divine thing, not a human thing.
Sure.
As far as human beings are concerned, we'd love to be alone.
Sure.
Leave me alone. Mm-hmm. Make me very happy. So our human side wants to be alone. Mm-hmm. The godly side says, well, for what? What's the point? Mm-hmm. I got to be me? Mm-hmm. What's the point? Mm-hmm. And by the way, you are you. Mm-hmm. And you can't not be you. So what are you? I did it my way? Of course you did it your way. How else would you do it? Mm-hmm. This is nonsense. You got to love yourself. I love myself. Why do you think I'm so depressed? Because I love myself. And I don't like what's happening to me because I love myself. So all the self-focus is so unhealthy. High self-image, just the flip side of the coin of low self-image. Mm-hmm. The healthiest way to be is, it's not about self. It's about who needs me, not about my needs.
Wow. So that transitions us nicely then. You talked about Adam being alone, and you talked about serving God. Talk to me a little bit about marriage. Like what's going on there? What's marriage really about?
This is what we're getting.
Not the American way.
So here God says, the reason I'm creating you is so that I'm not alone. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I exist. Happy? Mm-hmm. No. I need 613 commandments. Mm. So did God create us to not be alone? Or he created us to do this very complicated... Of course, God doesn't want to be alone. So what he really needs out of creation is us. Just to have us. That's it. But he doesn't want us fighting him, against him. So he tells us everything about himself. I created the world in 6 days, and I rest on the 7th. Well, good. Why do I need to know that? Because now I want you to rest with me. So during the 6 days when I'm creating, create alongside with me. On the 7th day when I rest with me. So all these commandments are God's personal preferences, and he tells us about it so that we can join him. It's very much like a father who's sitting at the Shabbos table, celebrating Shabbos. a holy day. His kid doesn't want to come to the table. This is a crucial decision that can make or break the family. If the father says, "Get over here, you're supposed to be keeping Shabbos," that child is gone. If the father says, "Why you leave me sitting here alone? Come sit with me."
Wow. That's beautiful.
So that's what God is saying. Not, "I need you to do the mitzvah. I need you to be by my side." How do you stay by my side? Let me tell you where I am at every moment so that you know where to meet me. So on Pesach, I don't want bread. So you should also not eat bread. I hate pork. You should also eat. So it's not, "I need you to do this." I need you to be with me. And this is how you be with me instead of distant or antagonistic or rebellious.
Beautiful. While you're on that line, I just got to ask then, in the Chabad world, there's this not singular, but heavy focus on encouraging people to put on tefillin, to wrap phylacteries. There's all these videos of them catching famous people, really very interesting things. Even people going to people that are at anti-Israel protests, trying to, while they're walking, put on their tefillin. Why that? Why the focus on that? And how does that fit into your framework around being with God?
See, the message behind it is, I'm not asking you to become religious. I'm not asking you to change your life. But if you have 5 minutes and you can do something you don't need, it's what God needs from you. Can you have 5 minutes for God? It can save you a lot of therapy. Step out of yourself. It's so healthy. But that is the good news for the world in general. How many people, 8 billion people in the world, how many people complain? I have a boring job. I hate my job. I work on an assembly line. It's so degrading. It's so dull. It's so... Anything we do that makes life on this planet better is serving God's purpose. Whoever invented the electric toothbrush, guaranteed a seat in heaven. It's not just something he did to make a living or to... If you're doing something that makes life on earth better, you're serving God. We were created to improve God's creation. I'll give you an example. This Japanese gardener who just loves flowers and beauty, and every time he sees a neglected lawn, he can't stand it. So he goes over and he pretties it up, makes it beautiful. He makes this lawn beautiful, and suddenly a guy comes over and gives him a check. He says, "What is this?" He says, "That was my lawn. You just made my lawn beautiful." If you make life on earth a little better, who benefits? Most. The Creator. To make it really dramatic, if the world ended tomorrow, just ends, fade to black, nothing, everything's gone, who would care? Would it be a tragedy? To whom? Only to God. So we don't really need this. The Creator needs it. So if you make the world a little better, that's not selfish. That's serving God. So any guy who works on an assembly line, any guy who produces or even mails out the product, if it's a helpful product, you're serving God. Don't think of it as a boring job. If you enjoyed this conversation or this topic, and you're looking for more information, or you want to hear it again from another angle, there's a way to do that. And that is in this book. It's all there. Order it from Amazon. You can read it, reread it, and share it. These ideas, these messages, this approach to life, this approach to Torah, to meaning, and to morals is vital for the world today. And we need to get this message out to the entire world. It is universal, it's essential, it's indispensable. To support this effort, if you want to be a partner in this crime, check out the link and make a donation. It really helps a lot. And thank you in advance.